Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. So, first off, thanks for those of you who stuck around last night or after the close to catch up their option session. So, if you weren't able to make it, um, those are always recorded. They're up on the website. Feel free to check them out. Last night we spent some time going over kind of like almost like an earnings strategy prep pack. Um, and I always like when these option sessions fall right around the beginning of earnings season because it's just like a good time to go over the strategies a little bit, break down some of the techniques, maybe what we're looking at, and just kind of get into like that good mindset because earnings season it kind of like sneaks up on you, and then it's just like the jam-packed 3-4 weeks of just crazy action. So it's always good to have some sort of roadmap to like what you want to do, how you want to handle things. So definitely check that out. Uh, what I want to talk about today, just kind of like a broader idea, and it's basically why some of like the swing ideas are you're seeing pop up on the watch list as initiations. So I love when you get major market moves, all right, because you tend to get separation, all right. So when you have big run, so this is the semi, so this is the chip sector. So you had a huge run, a really sharp drop in May after the trade tensions ratchet up, and then a really quick snapback in June, right? So when you get like these really sharp sector moves, what I find is that a lot of times they in slower markets like these stocks will move together, but when you have like a surge in volume, right, and volatility, what happens is, and what I find is that the leaders separate from the laggards. So it's like rising tide lifts all boats, but when when the tide finally goes out, as they say, right, then you see who has a hole in the hull. So when you had the drop and then the rebound, now you've seen which names have snapped back quicker, which names have remained under pressure, right? So as the market and as things begin to rebound, as the market kind of breaks out and grinds into a 52-week high, it's really easy to spot the leaders, right? Because the leaders are at or near the 52-week high, outperforming the overall sector, right? So with that in mind, what I've been looking at, MRVL, so kind of a chip leader, right? So the stock rolled over, right? Peaked late late April, rolled over along with the overall sector, but now it's bounced back and it's within striking distance of that April high, right? So you'll see when I throw the SMH up here, right? You can see that it outperformed on the way up, and now it's closer to its high, right? Versus like the overall sector, which is still a little bit off. And what's nice about Marvell is that initially when it traded back through 24, it looked like it was probably going to make a run of 25 quick, but now it's tightened up in almost like a month-long base, forming like this really tight monthly pennant, right? You can see like a nice little pennant forming here, rising trend, rising moving averages. And this one to me seems like, if it gets through 24.50, 25, it's off to the races. And this is like one of those names that you probably want to watch just because it's one of the top performers in the chip sector right now, and it could be a pretty good indicator, right? If you see like these leaders really start to take off, it could be kind of like a good um, good indicator that maybe like money's flowing back into the group, right? So it could benefit some of those laggards as well. But this is definitely one to keep an eye on. So this was the August swing, still kind of developing. Still looks good, like I said. Needs to get through 24.50 to 25, really with some strong participation, and then you're looking at a break or a retest of the April high, and then ultimately break out through that. And now another one, kind of like the same idea, right? AMD. So this one riding uptrend as well. Clearly this hung in quite a bit better than the overall sector, right? So when the sector topped out in April, rolled over in May, AMD mostly sat sideways, and then it ripped up to actually like a new yearly high in June. Obviously, like the SMH, the overall chip sector, didn't put in a new high. So not only is this above the April high already, but it's actually, had a little bit of a shallow pullback, held trend, and now it's curling back up, making like another potential run at just the June high now. So, again, like, I love when you get like these huge sector moves, right? Because it really helps you spot the relative strength, the relative weakness. I mean, you could look at um, you could look at like the laggards, right? And you might actually want to focus, maybe if you're looking for like short setups, right? Like if you're looking at chip stocks that maybe haven't bounced or are hanging underneath their May low, right? Underneath significant moving averages, right? Like those might be decent short opportunities. It's just looking at like looking at a picture from a different perspective. You could focus on the leaders, right, and look for like breakouts and runs, or you could focus on the laggards and thinking, okay, maybe if we do get a pullback, the laggards, because they haven't been able to bounce, they haven't been able to reset above key levels, maybe those are the first ones lower. So, um, they provide trade opportunities on both sides. Depends which way you want to focus, right? But I just thought that AMD, Marvell, especially with tech just still kind of grinding. It seems like we're kind of getting some rotation. One week it's software, one week it's FANG, maybe the next week it's chip stocks, and Marvell and AMD. To me, seem like two potential leader candidates. So definitely wanted to put those on your radar. Something to keep an eye on. Obviously, earnings are coming up, so we're going to have to maneuver around earnings. Not only like AMD and Marvell's earnings, but the chip stocks do tend to react to like sector reports pretty sharply. So you get like a big print maybe from like Intel, right? And it's going to affect a lot of the other semis as well. So definitely some things to take into account, but also certainly some names to keep on your radar. All right. So let me know what you think. AMD, Marvell, chips, what have you. I mean, I'd love to hear from you guys. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. All right. So I hope you have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.